Put all my shit on mute. People sending me some messages. I'm gonna take some notes for this podcast, just so you know, because I'm gonna make a chart on our predictions to see how accurate we go with it. Because I was looking back at some of our picks we had last year for some free agents and trades. We're pretty good. Pretty good. Alrighty. All right, we should be good to go. All right. Give me a second here, guys.
All right, we are live on here from what I'm seeing. All right. It's live on my joint too.
Oh, yeah, we're good. It's finally on yours?
Yeah.
Finally, they probably took my block off. Woo! What's up, everybody? We're here. We are live and in the studio. Alrighty. Ready to hit this off, brother?
Let's get it.
I got my pen here for this podcast. Let's go. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the best motherfucking sports podcast in Pennsylvania. It's 2023, so we're here to take over the entire country. We're like that Chinese balloon. We're going to hover around the country and take the fuck over. But anyway, guys, for those of you that have not listened to our podcast yet, I want to say welcome. We talk sports, and we talk sports, and we talk more sports. That's what we do. But we're not like your basic sports podcast. We don't just sit here and give you shit that they all say on ESPN. We actually give you our actual thoughts, our breakdowns. We do debates, which shout out to all of you that have stepped into the debate gauntlet. Me and Paulie here are waiting for a matchup. So if you want to do a duo matchup, right now is the time to do
That's not fair.
Any topic they want, come in. That's my call out to you guys.
That's not fair.
I know it is what it is. But anyway, guys, today it is Valentine's Day here, and we're going to be talking about NFL free agency. Are we going to slide left or are we going to slide right? We're going to decide what we're going to do and where these guys are going to go because we got a lot of NFL free agents. Super Bowl just happened. My Philadelphia Eagles have their entire defense is free agent.
Your Philadelphia Eagles for sure got a lot of problems.
We have 10 starters on the defense that are free agents. So obviously we're going to start with the Philadelphia Eagles and talk about the free agency there. My free agents for the Eagles guy on the offensive end, biggest question mark, Jason Kelce. Is he going to retire? We don't know. We also have Miles Sanders. We're going to talk about him a little bit later. On defensive end, we got Robert Quinn, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Devon Hargrove, Ndamukong Suh, Linval Joseph, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Bradbury, Epps, Edwards, and Kaiser White. Holy shit. Now, I get they raised the salary cap a little bit, so we're going to have the ability to make some adjustments here. But just by looking at the free agency for the Eagles, it looks to me that Miles Sanders might be the odd man out. Paul, if you're the Eagles, which guys would you focus on to sign back mainly?
CJ Gardner-Johnson, I'm focusing on. I'm probably gonna get back Saquon Hargrove. I need him. He's an anchor on that line. I don't want to see Fletch going, but it's kind of I won't say it's his time, but I mean he's done everything he could in Philly. I don't know how much football he has left.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Those are my top two. I want to say Miles Sanders, but the way he performed in the Super Bowl, it left me a little unwell. So then you had a guy like Kenneth Gainwell who was playing his heart out. So you could probably get him for cheaper too. So if I'm the Birds, man, you better really nail it on those guys on defense who we're going to make an impact and you're going to get at least 3 to 4 years out of, which is a guy like CJ Gardner-Johnson who led the league after he got hurt in interceptions. And I kind of like the TJ Edwards thing because he was the one linebacker in that group. He was really solid. Now Kaiser White can go. I'll see you later.
Yeah,
he's a huge disappointment. I had a guy. I had a lot of high hopes coming in. He's now Bradbury. Listen, Bradbury, despite the play in the Super Bowl, Bradbury is very solid, but he's gonna give himself overpriced.
Yeah,
because of the year he had. So, do you want to take a chance on a guy this is his third team as a corner? He's getting a little older. I guess he's what, 30? He might be 30.
He's 30 years old. Yeah,
but he's very solid. Depending on the price on Bradbury, maybe you can. Corners are hard to come by, but you could definitely go out there and get a young one in the draft. Those are the ones I'll probably focus on. I mean, everybody else. I mean, Dominic Sue can go.
Yeah,
Joseph can go.
I mean, honestly, guys like that might sign back for league minimum. Later in the year, they might sign back. People forget they got a couple guys that are on the roster still. But a guy like Kaiser White, you got a linebacker and free rookies to sign. Now, I like your take on C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He's 25 years old. He had 6 interceptions, and he didn't play since week 12 till the playoffs. So he missed, 6-7 games, give or take.
Yeah.
Versatile. He's young, and we got a young team we want to start off with. So I think that's a guy that you have to focus on. On the front line, I think Fletcher Cox. Obviously, we love Fletch. But I think he's either going to retire or he's going to go to one of the highest teams that pay him. And honestly, I think he might go to Kansas City and end his year with the team that drafted him, Andy Reid. Not just because they won the Super Bowl, because Andy, they know him. And we'll see. We'll see what happens with him. But as for Miles Sanders, guys, everybody, we got a love-hate relationship with Miles Sanders here in Philadelphia. We really do.
Look. He put it on himself, the guy. He doesn't like running up the middle. What does Kenneth Gainwell do? He runs up the middle. Jamal Williams, guys like this on the free agency are bosses like this. They're ballers. So it's tough, man. Like, I love Miles, man. 1,200 yards rushing with 10 touchdowns this year. He balled out, but
I agree.
There's just things about him. He doesn't like to do a lot of things in his shows.
They're predicting Miles Sanders wants about $10 million a year for 3 years.
Running backs are a dime a dozen.
Yeah, in my opinion, like franchise tag for a running back right now this year is $10 million. He wants that for per year. He is only 26 years old, which he is still young. But in my honest opinion, from watching him play, you see running backs go up on that hill and then fall. I think he's on the top of that hill.
He's on that top of the hill. He had his breakout year.
Yeah, my thing with him too is like great running back, but it's kind of like that Baltimore run game. Like, you need a guy that's going to run up the middle in Philadelphia, and Miles Sanders didn't do that, and it hurt him in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs had that game plan to stop the outsides. They didn't run up the middle, and they stopped him. And I feel like you don't sign him back because you got to sign other guys back. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to sign Hargrove back. They're going to sign C.J. Gardner-Johnson back. They're going to sign T.J. Edwards back. I think Samalu's gone.
You think so? You think they're not gonna be he could have been all pro this year.
Yeah, but the thing is, you got so much other money, and you got guys that can back him up. They got the rookie Dickerson last year. You got Landon Johnson.
Yeah, Landon Johnson.
You got Dillard moving in. It depends. Like, if Kelsey does retire, I think Salamala comes back.
Absolutely. Salamala comes back. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. That they got some big decisions to make here. So where do you predict Miles Sanders to go? Because I think he's out of Philadelphia. There's an array of teams that need running backs, especially somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you think he's going to go?
Absolutely. Now let's break down these teams that need running backs. Now, the Raiders are going to need a running back. There's one. Washington? You think Washington might need one because we don't know what's going on with Gibson over there?
Yeah, they got Brian Robinson.
They do have Brian Robinson.
NFL's a two-back league. You need two backs in this NFL now. Absolutely. Brian Robinson's the guy that goes up the middle. So I don't want to see Miles Sanders go to Washington. I don't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, definitely not New York. Let me see. Not in Pittsburgh. They don't even.
I think Miles Sanders is going to land. We're going to talk later about other possibilities that running backs can go to, but I think Miles Sanders is going to land at either Miami or Buffalo. I think he's going to one of them two teams. I lean towards
Buffalo will be a perfect fit for him, but he's not gonna have to be that every down back there either. So
I predict he's going to go to Miami though. Just because I think Buffalo is going to want to. They have James Cook. I like James
I don't know, but it's too.
They don't got no running back there. Running backs in Miami are free agents that get hurt. He fits into that offense. He fits in that offense really well. Yeah. And we're going to talk about it later because there's a lot of things Miami can do, like get Lamar Jackson. If they get Lamar Jackson and they sign him, whoo. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see because obviously you got that whole Tua situation going on there, but we'll see. So I'm predicting he goes to Miami or Buffalo. I need to hear your prediction. Where you got Miles Sanders landing?
You know what? You said I do like him in Miami, but I think Buffalo's better. I don't know what it is. I think Buffalo's better. You do have Cook there too, two-headed monster. You have a passing game. You have a running quarterback who you can feed off of. So I'm probably going to rock with Buffalo on this one. It sounds right to me.
Yeah, I agree with it. I mean, they're a piece away. Obviously, you need to take some pressure off of Josh Allen, Mr. All-Star. So it'll help him out. But now we got the biggest free agent of the year coming up. You guys all know this is going to happen. Is he a free agent? Is he not? We don't know yet. We got none other than Lamar fucking Jackson. So if you
I know where he's going.
Lamar Jackson says he wants a lot of money. Rightfully so, but he did get hurt this year, and I think it might have bought himself out. So the Baltimore Ravens have openly said that they want to sign him back, but if that is not a possibility, then they're open to trading him. Now, he's in the market of probably $260 million for 5 years, 208, 210 guaranteed. He wants $250 million guaranteed. I don't think that's going to happen.
I'm going to tell you right now, if Jalen Hurts would have won the Super Bowl, Lamar is getting paid. But
I agree there.
But I still do think he's gonna get paid because there's not a lot of franchise quarterbacks out there. So and a lot of teams are QB hurting right now. Yeah, so
I think he's gonna get paid too, but unfortunately for you Baltimore fans, I think he's gonna get paid and he's gonna get traded out of town. Now there's a whole array of teams that could want Lamar. We got, Baltimore could keep him. They just hired a new offensive coordinator. Georgia. Miami's in the market. Obviously, we see maybe a trade for Tua. We got the New York Jets, Atlanta, Raiders. What we got here? What jersey do you think he looks best in on the board here?
Looking at it, I still lean with the Jets, but that New Orleans one is fire. With the visor. I don't like him on Miami because I don't for some odd reason he's from there, so I don't know. Well, he's from Fort Lauderdale. Well, Fort something. I don't like when guys go back home. I feel like I
don't like him and Tyreek Hill playing together.
I don't either. You're right. But now look at Vegas though. Vegas is kind of interesting because he has a lot of toys he can play with up there.
Exactly.
One name Devontae Adams, which is why I don't think Lamar goes there because Tay wants AR back. So Miami, that's out of there. Vegas, out of there. I'm gonna rock with Jerry's. I'm gonna rock with the Jets, man.
Yeah, so I agree with all that takedown. So Vegas odds, we got Odd Sharks. We actually had them on Lamar, obviously, because he's a big name. Per today at 5:00, here's the odds. Baltimore, minus 220. Now, I don't know if that counts as franchise tag and then a trade. I don't know. This is first snap played. So we got first snap played for Lamar. Baltimore, minus 220. The Jets, plus 500. Atlanta, plus 700. Miami, plus 1,000. Vegas, plus 1,500. Carolina Panthers, plus 1,500. The New England Patriots, 1,800. The Commanders, 1,800. How about the Colts? Plus 2,000.
No, I hate it.
And then every other team is plus 3,500. Now, in my opinion, I agree with you with the Jets. I want to say Miami, right? I want to say Miami, but we know all year I predicted. I'm like, Lamar's going to get traded to Miami. And then I forgot that they had to forfeit their first-round pick this year because they tried to cheat to get Brady. So then I'm like, all right, not even just the issue of going home. They don't have that first-round pick this year. It's going to take you like 4 or 5 first-round picks plus Tua. And I don't know if they even want Tua because he got all them concussion problems.
Nah.
To get him. So I'm looking at this like, man, I don't know if they can trade for him based on what they have. However, I'm still not counting it out because that offense with Lamar Jackson would be unfucking believable. But New York Jets have came out and said that they are willing to do anything to get a star quarterback. So they're going to get either him, they're either going to get Rodgers, and if they pass on him, they're going to get one of these free agents. So I'm with you. I think Lamar goes to the Jets.
I feel like it sits right. You got a young receiver sitting there. You have a beast of a running back in the back, especially when he gets back from his injury. But you have a team there for him. They need a quarterback. Listen, Mike, I feel bad, Mike White and shit. You know, Mike White's he's a cannon, but
free agent. So
I just think Lamar. I think Lamar is going to be really, really. He'd be good there, especially with that young receiver.
I think he'd be phenomenal there, man.
And what's the other guy? The tight end, CJ Uzman. Yeah. He's actually a solid tight end. They need a quarterback, and that's Lamar.
I mean, look at them. They had 2 guys that were right there for Rookie of the Year on offense.
Yeah.
They got Rookie of the Year on offense, and then they got Breece Hall. So I mean, you add him in there. Lamar's only what? Lamar's how old is Lamar? Lamar is 26. I mean, everybody's going to get a career-ending injury. I think half the time this year he was injured just because he didn't want to play for Baltimore.
He did not want to be in B more.
It wasn't about the fans or the players. That's the only problem I have with Lamar, though. But I don't blame him. I'm not going to blame him. You're about your money, you're about getting bread. If you get a major injury while you're hurt slightly, I get it. But how's that going to sit well if he goes to the Jets, though? Because we know what happens when you go to New York and you start playing. Man, them fans, man. It's not about stadiums. It's about walking around the streets of New York. Like, they rip you apart. You know, Philadelphia does it all over. But these New York fans, you see each other all the time. So I don't know. I don't know how that would work out. But I think for his longevity of his career, either Baltimore has to pay him what he wants, which would be a smart move, in my opinion, or it goes to the Jets. But you were talking about another guy. Right here. We got Derek Carr. So when I made this post, Derek Carr was not a free agent yet.
Now he is.
Now he is a free agent. So they cut him today. They cut Derek Carr today because tomorrow, on the 15th of February, he was due $40 million. They couldn't make a trade with him. And then he came out and said, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm not accepting the trade from you. So cut me. So they cut him. So now we got the former Raiders quarterback is a free agent. They don't have a quarterback right now. What do you think about Derek Carr? You think he can still lead the team to win some
Yes. A change of scenery is going to benefit the shit out of him. Yes, I believe 110% so that Derek Carr will go somewhere and benefit. Like, it's New Orleans is probably another thing with Chris Olave, and you still got Alvin Kamara in the back. Like, I like David. I didn't like David Carr as a Raider anymore because he was burning himself out. Went through coordinator, head coach, back and forth, bang, bang, bang. He's gonna go to a place like New Orleans where he has weapons just like he had in Oakland, shit. In Vegas, Oakland, whatever. Now they're younger. I think he's going to benefit more because he's a veteran. He understands this is a change of scenery. He means business. And New Orleans, honestly, say what you want. It might sound like a small town, but New Orleans they're a football crave city. Between them and LSU.
Yeah, I agree with you. The only problem is I've been seeing a lot like New Orleans. I have a lot of cap room, but I think they're going to make some adjustments, move him in there because it just makes sense. You get rid of Michael Thomas finally. You know, obviously he hasn't wanted to play for you either. So you get rid of him finally. You upload some contracts and you bring in Derek Carr because, I mean, look, they almost made the playoffs and did a good job with the 2 guys that they had in Red Rocket and Winston.
Yeah.
Neither of them were back.
They're neither one of them are elite anymore, but they were right there.
Yeah, I think Derek Carr's a bad rap. Like,
he does, man. He really does.
Derek Carr. This team was deep bad because play calling was pretty bad in crunch time. Like, their third down and fourth quarter play calling was horrible. Their defense was horrible. So I think it's a good move to get him out. I think they did him dirty, but at least he has a chance to get free agency. I think a sneaky pick for him, too, is Carolina. I think Carolina's going to be looking for a quarterback. They're going to be a sleeper team, especially in that division. That NFC South is garbage. So I can see him going to Carolina. They got a team. They produce numbers. We saw they almost won the division last year. So, I mean, he could go there. They got a good offensive line, but we'll see. I mean, I think it's an opportunity for him to, get some numbers. So we're going to talk about another guy here. He's not a free agent. We got your boy. I had to include Aaron motherfucking Rodgers into our talk. Now, he's not a free agent, but he's probably going to either go back to Green Bay, retire, or get traded. Now he has proceed to say, "I'm not going to San Francisco."
He's not. He said it. I don't think he goes either.
Green Bay would be dumb to trade him there anyway.
He don't want to be there.
Even though San Francisco has some questions at quarterback, but he said that he wants to go to the Raiders. So, what's your prediction on your boy? What's your prediction on Aaron?
I think that's where he lands is in the Raiders.
Yeah, I agree.
As crazy as it sounds, Devontae is pushing and pushing and pushing for him. You don't think the Raiders are going to cater towards their best player?
Yeah, they have to.
Tell me, I've spoken about this before to other people. They're gonna Devontae is gonna want to be happy, and with 12 back there, he will be happy.
Yeah, I mean, look, the guy can still play. You saw what Devontae Adams did. No difference with Carr, really. I mean, he had a hell of a year, but I mean, you get your boy back, you're probably gonna put up better numbers again anyway. It makes Darren Waller a lot better, but it leads me to question you. So if he goes to Vegas, what they do with what happens to Jimmy G? Where's Jimmy G gonna go? We got quarterbacks here we can talk about. Jimmy G. So he said he could possibly go back to San Francisco, but then San Francisco's come out and said he's a free agent now. They got Brock Purdy's hurt. They got hurt. Where's Jimmy G gonna go? You think he has a possibility of going back to San Francisco this time?
He would be the security blanket. He's always been the security blanket.
Yeah, I mean, where could he go? Is he going to want to get paid? Is he going to want to be a winner?
You know what though? Something was telling me Indianapolis Colts. I don't know why, because you got Steichen going there now, and I think Steichen would be okay with having a guy who checks down a lot. So I don't know. Colts possibly.
Yeah, but
you already know the Giants are going to bring back Danny Dimes. They're going to make him a priority. Yeah. So that's next year though. That's next offseason, not this offseason. But I don't know. Jimmy G's an anomaly because it's a different kind of anomaly because it's he's not really gonna lose you the game. He's had success in this league playing the way he plays, but he's not gonna be the sole reason why you win the game. He's your typical. He's what Alex Smith is. That's Alex Smith Jr. right there. So I don't know, man. He's pretty much gonna go anywhere where they're willing to say, okay, we need to stop in the gap guy, and that's you because you're not gonna fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. So
the Colts sound good to me.
My question for you is this: a little off topic, but Tampa Bay Bucks.
Interesting
take there.
Interesting.
I don't know if they're gonna try and sign somebody like Jimmy G based upon if they trade Mike Evans or Fournette or whatever their other options that they have, they could trade. So I mean, he could be a real good option for Jimmy G. Could be Tampa Bay. He could also go to the Raiders. If the Raiders don't get any of these guys, why not bring in a guy like Jimmy G? The Raiders, same thing with Lamar. If Lamar don't go to the Jets, why not Jimmy G to the Jets?
Oh, he'd be good.
Those options are going to happen. But how about
Jimmy G would be excellent with the Jets, actually.
Yeah,
because
my prediction for him is it's going to be one of two things. One, he's going to go and get paid, or one, he's going to go to a team where he can win. There's two options that allow that. So my prediction is he's going to go to a winner, and he's going to go to Miami. He's going to Miami because they don't know what's going to happen with Tua. They already know the defense. Just put it there. But don't sleep on him going to the Houston Texans. A guy that they could be looking at. They don't have a quarterback. They're probably going to draft one. Well, you know how teams are. They don't like to start the quarterback the first year, so why not learn?
He's the guy. Jimmy G's the stopping the gap guy. I mean, Houston just got DeMeco Ryans, so I wouldn't be shocked if we see Jimmy G in a Houston uniform next year because DeMeco,
Yeah, I mean,
former DC.
You know, my thought on Houston is this: like Jimmy G's not a guy that needs a lot of extremely talented weapons based on the way he plays. So they don't have a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
And then a veteran that can kind of do checkdowns, help the run game. It makes sense to me for Houston. Now, if I'm him, I ain't going to Houston. If I'm him, I'm not going to fucking Houston. I'm going to a team, even if I have to be a bad.
I'm trying to win.
Yeah.
I'm trying to win.
Yeah, I'm trying to win, but there's not a lot of options there for him. So it's going to be based upon, like, same as last year. How healthy is he? Remember last year they couldn't trade it because his shoulder injury was there. But I'm going to predict him going to Miami.
Yeah.
I think that's just where he goes. But like I said, keep an eye out for Houston. Keep an eye out for the Bucs on him. Now, we did a lot of Vegas talk. We got to talk about another player from Vegas. The leading rusher of the NFL this year, Josh Jacobs. Now, he's a big question mark. Big question mark what they're going to do.
If he's healthy.
Not even just that. They declined his fifth-year option over the year, and he's 26 years old, led the league in rushing. He had 1,653 yards, 12 touchdowns, 53 catches, 400 yards. But he had a 340-yard rushing attempt season.
It's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
Yeah. So he's came out and said a couple things. He wants to do, first off, he wants to do the situation that's right for him. Is that Vegas? Is that somewhere else? He's also said, hey, if you guys sign the right quarterback, a la Aaron Rodgers, pay cut. That's pretty much what that.
Say A-Rod is the key. He ain't coming back for Jimmy J.
So my question for him is two things. If they don't sign Aaron Rodgers or Lamar, they're gonna have to franchise tag Josh Jacobs for $10 million, at a little over $10 million. I don't think he plays for that. So I think they're gonna have to trade him. But I ultimately think they're gonna get Aaron and they're gonna get back Josh Jacobs on a cheaper deal. He's gonna stay. Why would you want to leave Vegas? So I think he stays in Vegas for a cheaper deal. What do you think? You think he's gonna stay, or you think he's gonna take less?
For when they get that right quarterback, absolutely he's gonna stay.
Yeah, I'm curious to see though. Let's say they don't get the right quarterback. Where the hell does the guy go? You know what does he want on the market? You know, we got a guy like Saquon Barkley as a free agent too. Does he deserve less money than Saquon? He won rushing record. Pay Saquon Barkley more.
Well, he's as banged up as Saquon is. So I mean, well, not as banged up. I'm saying like he does get hurt a lot, and running backs in this league are a dime a dozen. It's kind of hard to put your heart in one, but coming off the year he does deserve the money.
Yeah, so we got Saquon Barkley here as a free agent. Outside of the Giants, the Dolphins are currently the favorite to land Saquon Barkley. Miami's minus 350. Miami's plus 350. Ravens are plus 400. Bills are plus 425. Denver 500. KC 800. So we got Saquon Barkley and we got Josh Jacobs, two key free agents here. We both think that Josh Jacobs is going to go back to Vegas, but we're just going to take a second here and theoretical and talk about Barkley and then predict if he doesn't go back. So Saquon Barkley obviously got to sign him back, right? Is there any question?
Yes. You need to sign him back, and he's. You know what though? I say that because I'm a huge guy I like Saquon. I like when he's healthy. He's one of the best running backs in the league. But what scares me, they're gonna overuse the shit out of him again. They're gonna.
My thing on Saquon Barkley is this. Didn't sign it back, that extension, rightfully so. You got Daniel Jones on a contract. He's a free agent this year as well. So you can only use one franchise tag on the other guy.
It's going to have to go to
now, if they don't sign Daniel Jones back, they got a franchise tag him, but that means they have to sign Saquon. And the franchise tag for Daniel Jones is much higher than it is for Saquon Barkley. So them Giants better be, getting in there. So let's look at this. He's 26 years old. He's banged up. He looked healthy last year. But we know, like you just said, running backs are a dime a dozen. It's hard. It's a hard league. I hope he stays healthy because he's a freak. He's a freak of nature. I love watching him play. But They're saying he's probably going to get about $12.5 million per year, which is less than Alvin Kamara got and Cook. They were both younger when they signed it, but Dalvin Cook signed 12.6 for 5 years.
That's true.
Kamara signed 15 for 5. So I don't see Saquon Barkley going out of his way to ask for a lot of money. I genuinely think he likes playing for the Giants, but we all know.
He's from there. He was born in New York. His family is in New York. So I mean, why would he want to leave? He's beyond loved. Like it's kind of like makes sense for him to stay in New York. But
how about we do this? We get rid of Miles Sanders, and we bring our Penn State guy to Philadelphia.
So we're gonna take Miles Sanders, put him in New York.
No, Miles Sanders is going to Miami. Like I said, he can go South Beach. But we're gonna replace Miles Sanders with Saquon Barkley. I think everybody would like that, but that's not going to happen. Let's not say not, but
let's not say not.
Yeah, let's not say not. But I mean, listen, theoretically, looking at these odds, I mean, I like to see him if the Baltimore Ravens can sign back, Lamar,
yeah,
and get Saquon.
Nasty. We seen what Lamar could do with a Pro Bowl backfield. Like when him and Mark Ingram were there, they were tearing it the fuck up.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean,
and now you got a thoroughbred like this in the backfield who can receive. You can actually catch the ball too.
Yeah, I mean,
man,
I like it.
It's not. Oh boy, I mean that's not good for the league, man. It's not good.
Right? But imagine him going to Buffalo. You go to Buffalo. He's fitting right there in that offense as well. Denver. I kind of like him going to Denver with Sean Payton, but I don't know. I wouldn't go play with Russell Wilson, so he's not going to Denver. But if the Giants fuck up and don't sign back Saquon Barkley, I don't know what to say because like they're not the Cowboys. They actually know what they're doing. The Giants know what they're doing. So yes, I think he's going to sign back. I don't think Dabble is going to let this guy leave. Not going to let him leave. So they're going to get that contract done. And now if Josh Jacobs doesn't sign back, what about him in Baltimore? What about him in Buffalo? I mean, they're all the same teams you're going to look at, right?
Yeah. That's where he's probably going to get most of it. They're going to get most of their interest at those teams right there. Honestly, wherever Lamar goes, if I'm a running back, I'm looking for it too. So I'm looking there too. So if Lamar ends up in Oakland, I mean, Josh Jacobs might have to take that pay cut.
I agree. We got another running back on the market, Tony Pollard. Dallas Cowboys got a lot of question marks. You got to do with Tony Pollard.
You need to bring his ass back.
The problem
you need to bring his ass back.
The problem is you got Zeke in the backfield.
He can go trade.
What do you get for Zeke though? They're
going to third and fourth, and probably if you can throw in a backup player like a backup or a lower end tight end or something like. Throw him in there. A third or fourth, though.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Tony Pollard, I didn't realize he was 26 years old as well. But, man, I'm a big fan of Tony Pollard. Big fan of Tony Pollard. Versatile back. He had 1,000 yards rushing, almost 400 yards receiving. He can do everything. He's staying in Dallas. Whether they have to franchise tag him or give him what he wants. Apparently, say he only wants about $11.5 million a year for 5 years. That's a team-friendly deal. You get rid of Zeke's contract, make sure you sign him back, even if you got to give him 12.5. But we know Dallas, like I just said, Dallas a lot of times doesn't do the right thing.
They do not.
We'll see. We'll see what happens for them. Now, if Dallas not only has Tony Pollard a free agent on offense, they got Dalton Schultz a free agent on offense. What are your thoughts on him? Do you think they're going to sign him back, or do you project him possibly to go somewhere else?
For who?
Dalton Schultz.
I thought you said. I swear to God, I don't know why. I heard Dalton Schultz at first. Then I heard Tony Pollard again because I'm thinking about Tony Pollard. But nah, man, Schultz is a dynamic tight end. I mean, tight ends they're like running backs now. It's either if you're not Travis Kelce, it's kind of like you're either Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, and everybody else is just there.
Yeah.
Dallas Goedert. I mean, Schultz will be really good in Green Bay because of his style of play. I could see him also go to a place like the Giants who need a tight end. He's a very dynamic weapon. They don't really have a lot of dynamic weapons there aside from Saquon. Outside of that, I mean, he can go anywhere. I mean, Washington. We can see him drop down and go to Belichick and make something of himself in New England. Like, he's a very versatile tight end. So I think he's gonna have a big free agency.
Yeah, I think Dallas needs to learn from what they did last year. Even though they traded Amari Cooper, don't get rid of Dak Prescott's guy. Like, please do, as an Eagles fan, please get rid of Dalton Schultz. Get rid of him. But I feel like he's a very underrated guy. He can do a lot of stuff, especially he got hurt this year. But last year and the end of this year, he was very good. He was very good. So I don't really know what the going market is for tight ends this year in the free agency. But I feel like Dalton Schultz will remain Dallas. But I like that pick. Like you said, I could see him going to the Giants. I could see that. I really could. Especially you get, your guys back.
Yeah.
Barkley, it makes sense.
It does make a lot of sense. Even though their tight end play last year wasn't horrible.
It was bad, but the thing is, you add in a guy like Dalton Schultz that can also upfield block.
Exactly. He's a versatile tight end.
I don't like that, but I can see that happening. Now we got a couple other tight ends here. Evan Ingram.
He ain't going nowhere.
Jacksonville be dumb to let him go.
He ain't going. Do you think Dougie P's? Nah, hell no. Dougie P ain't gonna let that go, bro.
Yeah, I'm glad we agree there. We got another tight end here. It's a very question mark. I have a lot of questions. A lot of you fantasy football owners are very mad at this guy, but it wasn't him. It was the style, the scheme. Mike Gesicki. He is not going back to Miami. They use tight ends as run blockers. He's not a run blocker. He can catch the ball. I think he's going to have a lot of prospects where he's going to go. I think he's going to go to Denver or Tennessee, one of those two teams.
Two teams who are lacking at that position too. Well, Noah Fant, I don't know, because Noah Fant isn't like, you know what I mean? Noah Fant isn't no bum. I mean, he was okay last year. My problem with him, he's just not so like he's not consistent. He had a lot of drops last year. He wasn't really involved in the offense as well, like you were saying though. But again, it's not all his fault. Ooh, that's tough. Because
he could go a lot of places.
He could, because he's a solid tight end. At the end of the day, he's a solid tight end.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with him. We got another guy, Hayden Hurst, probably going to stay in Cincinnati, and then Robert Tonyan, your boy. You think he's going to follow Rodgers and be the number 2 tight end in Vegas if they end up happening?
He could.
It's a possibility, I feel like he's one of those guys that could go nowhere or he could go somewhere he wants to go. But we'll see what happens with him. I don't know. And where you go, Paulie? Well, I don't know where he went. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. So, Paulie, hurry up and get back in here. But we didn't talk about a couple other guys here. We got a couple other running backs we need to talk about. Like, where's my list here?
We back in action.
All right, I didn't do anything when you were gone.
Back in action. But like I was saying, Bobby Tunyon, I call him Bobby Tunyon because that's what they call him on when the Green Bay announcers talk about him, that's what they call him, Bobby Tunyon. So he grew on me. Seriously, it just sounds right. Bobby Tons, they call him. But he's a unique player, man. When healthy, you've seen he can put up 10 touchdowns. He's a goal line guy. He's strong, but he's hurt. He's always banged up. There's always something wrong with him. So maybe he could follow Aaron because Aaron loves him.
Yeah.
But
we'll see. Could.
What about well, I was gonna say Chicago but Komet's there. Yeah, and Komet had a good second half of the year. What about Denver? No offense, but I like Robert Tonyan over Fant.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, he's not a big name, so not really important. But if he is healthy, he can play. But we got to talk about somebody that is very important. It's almost like we skipped over him because we're talking about everything else. But we're not. We're talking about. We're trying to keep it, rhythmic in this episode. But what about the comeback player of the year, Mr. Geno Smith himself, Pro Bowler, comeback player of the year, made the playoffs, led the league in completion percentage. What do you think about Geno Smith?
If you're Seattle, you're dumb as shit for letting him go because he's learning more and more each and every year. It'd be almost a shame. And the one thing about Seattle, they're not a poorly ran organization. They know what they have. They kept Russell Wilson as long as they could. They kept Matt Hasselbeck as long as they could. They know when they have a quarterback, we're going to keep him until he burns himself out. Geno Smith's not going to burn himself out. He's still young.
Yeah,
so
100%.
I can honestly see him. He's not going nowhere. Pete Carroll ain't gonna let that happen. I don't even want to say it's so crazy. I don't even want to say, oh, we're gonna put Geno Smith on another team. And this is a year removed from probably people calling him a bust again. So
yeah, I mean, you never know. You never know what happens in the NFL. But reportedly, he wants about a 4 or 5 year deal, $30 million a year. Take it. Take it.
No more.
He should get that right away. I think there's no question there at all. We got some other little quarterbacks I want to talk about real quick that could make big impacts on teams. Carolina's quarterback this year, Sam Darnold. Somebody might want him as a backup.
No.
Do you think he gets another starting option? Because if he does, something's wrong in the league.
No, I want to tell you why he's not going to get another starting option because wherever he's gone, he's been replaced.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not a great thing, and I'm not even going to bring him as a backup. I know what he is.
I think Denver might bring him in as backup.
No.
I mean, my theoretical is Sean Payton and Russell Wilson are kind of like, he already started off like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? So you're going to want a guy that could possibly push Russell Wilson, but you don't want him to start. So Sam Darnold could be that guy.
Yeah.
They need a backup quarterback. So why not? I don't think he's going to make it. Whatever.
Yeah.
But we got some other big names we got to talk about here. On the defensive side of the ball, we got this guy right here, Jordan Poyer.
Animal.
Poyer said,
Animal. Beast.
This guy drove 15 hours because he wasn't allowed to fly because he had broken ribs. They didn't let him fly, so he drove 15 hours to go to the Chiefs game. And now it's reported that they might not sign him back. Now, Buffalo Bills have two defensive guys that are on free agency. You got him and linebacker Tremaine Edmonds. Now, I don't know if they can sign both of them back. I don't think they actually can. They're close to salary. Now, which one would you prioritize, Jordan Poyer or Tremaine Edmonds?
Jordan Poyer, because Tremaine Edmonds is a hard hitter. He's a dog out there too, but Jordan Poyer is kind of your quarterback out there on defense. So I'm taking him all the way. He's earned his stripes.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I think they sign him back. It's hard to predict, even if they don't sign him back, where guys like that go. They tend to go a little bit later in free agency, so I don't even have a prediction for him. But I think they got to sign him back. They got to sign him back. As for Tremaine Edmonds, got to sign it. They got to try and sign him back too, because them linebackers were the reason you need linebackers if you're going to beat Mahomes or Burrow or even Herbert and Lawrence now. So I think they're going to have to sign back there. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do there with him. I think Bills have to get them guys in there. Other defensive players we got on here, though. We got a big guy, which is going to get very overlooked. Defensive tackle for Washington, Deron Payne. He had 11.5 sacks this year. Now, I don't know what Washington's going to do. They're not known to ever franchise tag defensive players.
Nah.
I think they have the salary cap to sign him back, especially if they're about to sell their team. So they might be in a whole bundle there. So we got one of the best defensive tackles in football hitting free agency market, along with a couple other players there. You think he could go somewhere big, or you think he's going to be a guy to say filler?
Philly.
You gonna go to Philly?
And I'm going to tell you why. Because they're losing. They're going to lose a bulk of that defensive line they had last year. And they're bringing in this young bull Payne, who's coming off a career year. Trust me, Philly will take a shot on that.
Yeah, I mean it's possible. I mean, we got Javon Hargrove.
Yeah,
He's in his defensive tackle. Fletcher Cox gone. Brandon Graham. So, do you think they sign back any of those guys, or just they replace all of them with Payne?
I think they're going to replace. I think they're going to replace all those guys.
Yeah,
you know what though? If they get back Jaquan Hargrove, probably not. But I think because Payne's he's such a bigger commodity than Hargrove, I'm probably rolling with the young buck who's a killer.
Yeah, probably going to be about the same money, give or take.
Yeah, exactly. You're getting a younger player.
Yeah, I don't know. I can see it happening. Now we got another guy, your boy, defensive lineman, Yannick Ngakoue. You gonna sign back to Indy? I would.
Why not? Yo, he's a fucking animal. Why? Yeah, why not? And you're getting your linebacker back next year too, Shaq.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would bring him back. And Ngakoue, I feel bad. You know what? I feel bad for him because he's bouncing around so much, and everywhere he's went, he's made an impact.
Yeah, I mean,
an impact.
He had 9.5 sacks last year. I'd sign him back. Yeah, you got a new coach. Why not sign him back? We got a couple other guys on the defense here. We got Levante David in Tampa. He came out and said he wants to finish his career in Tampa. But they got a lot of problems. They got to make a lot of adjustments. He could be a guy that if he hits the open market, I can't even begin to predict where he can go. He will land possibly anywhere in the NFL. He's going to get paid and he's going to go somewhere. But somebody who is getting overlooked here, the safety for Cincinnati, Jesse Bates. He's out of Cincinnati.
Absolutely, he's out of Cincinnati. He's going to price himself out of Cincinnati too. He didn't want to be there last year.
Yeah, I agree. They should have traded him last year because they were talking about how he wasn't going to sign back. He didn't want to do the franchise tag, all this and that. And he's another guy that he's a commodity. That guy is a very underrated player.
Yeah, he's a big reason why that defense was okay in the playoffs. He's a big reason. Jesse Bates he's a slugger too, boy. You got there knocking guys' heads off, and he's pretty damn good when the ball's in the air. So
yeah, man, he had 4 picks, 8 passes defended, 71
tags. He's solid. He's solid, man.
I mean, they could possibly franchise tag him again, but I don't think that'll happen. I don't know. You never know in the NFL. They drafted Daxton Hill last year in the draft, possibly can replace him. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know where he would go. I think honestly, out of spite, I feel like he could end up in Buffalo if they don't sign back Poyer for a little bit less. I could see that happening.
It's definitely a change. It's definitely going to be a change because, like I said, Jordan Poyer is like a quarterback out there.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Jesse Bates he's just a solid safety. So you might be losing a little bit of leadership.
Exactly. We got another couple cornerbacks out here. Like if you guys like cornerbacks in free agency, you got a whole lot of them out there this year. There's a lot of them. We got 26-year-old Jamal Dean from Tampa. He's a very good man-on-man defender.
He can get to the ball. He can get the ball.
Yeah, he can hit the ball. He's gonna be a free agent as well. I think he could be somebody to look at. I gotta ask you this: Marcus Peters is a free agent this year. What do you think about him? Would you take a flyer on him? We all know he can ball.
Yeah, no. He can definitely ball. He can definitely ball, but it's getting a little long in the teeth. You ask me. Maybe I'll take a shot on him because he is Marcus Peters, and I'm not stupid. The kid can play. He's pretty damn good press. Why not? Yeah, a quarterback, a team that desperately needs a corner absolutely should be your number 1 option if you can't get a top guy.
I agree.
I don't know, man. I don't know because I don't like the way he played last year. Marlon Humphrey was definitely the guy last year on that team, but But Marcus Peters, man, he's a dog.
Yeah,
He's a
I don't
dog.
know. I don't like his kind of his mentality. Like, I don't think he's a good teammate. Let's put it that way. I don't think he's a good teammate. We've seen it multiple times.
Yo, wasn't Marcus Peters the dude? And when he was playing for the Rams, when they came to play Philly, he ran up in the stands and was like, "Say it to my fucking face. Say it to my fucking face." Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, the year before that, he was in Kansas City, threw his helmet into the stands, and they traded.
Yeah, he has bad attitude. Bad attitude, and he's he's getting long in the tooth. So
yeah, we got another veteran out there, Patrick Peterson.
Let me tell you something about Pat. I don't give a fuck how old he is. He's a dog. He gets to the ball, and I don't think he's going back to Minnesota. I don't think he actually liked being in Minnesota. Listen to his podcast. You can tell it's kind of hard. It's miserable to live down there. Yeah. Yo, he easily ended up. He ended up back in, like, I don't know, L.A. The Rams.
I was honestly thinking he could go to the Chargers because we've seen the Chargers. Didn't really.
Yeah.
I can see them getting a savvy veteran in that backfield.
Listen, and not to mention, he's a very. This the one thing about Marcus Peters. Not Marcus Peters. Pat. I always talk about. You know how a basketball player always talk about his IQ.
Yeah, he's very good.
Pat has that IQ. Like, he knows he can look. He can break down things. Like, he's such a smart player, man.
Like, his numbers this year: 5 picks, 15 passes defended. That was.
I think he has a touchdown too, I think.
His highest total since 2012. He had 67 tackles, too, at 33. Yeah, all right, that's not no 33-year-old.
He's not really missing a step. He's not really getting killed either. Like, I think his problem is staying fully in shape throughout the whole season. Not saying it's because he's getting a little older. His legs, he got a lot of miles on those legs. He had a lot of rough years in Arizona.
He was pretty much the number one there in Minnesota.
Yeah. No, Dansley was pretty good, though. Dansley was pretty good. But Pat was definitely number one. He can go somewhere and be a number two. You guys are going to leave Bradbury. Why not bring in Pat? I'm
thinking it could be a swap. I can honestly see them overpaying for Bradbury and then him taking a pay cut, going to a team that is right there to win the Super Bowl. Which, I'll take him. I mean, he'd be on the side of Slay. Like you said, he's going to be 34 this year, but I mean, I like it. He'll take a cheaper pay cut, something we could afford.
I like Pat. I like Pat as my number two on any team. Let's just say that, or my nickel.
I agree. We got a lot of guys like that he could go. He could go somewhere. You know. Yeah. I think he's going to be a good one. Good free agent there. Let me see if I have any other names here. I don't know how I forgot him. Marcus Davenport, free agent. He didn't have flashy numbers.
Nah, he's solid, man. His job.
Buddy, so he's going to be on the open market. He could be like the Gaku trade, where he flips teams, produces. I don't know where he'll go. We got Dalvin Tomlinson from the Vikings, another guy. I don't know if he's going back there. He's a big body. Big body. Let's see what else we got here. Any linebackers? Let's see our linebacker list. I don't really like any of them. Yeah, I don't like any. Some good ones. You know, got some fillers in here. Did we miss any? We didn't talk about wide. Only because the wide receiver class that's free agency stinks. It's by Juju Smith-Schuster or Jacoby Myers.
Hold on, wait. Jacoby Myers is solid, and Juju just came off a Super Bowl. They're probably going to re-sign him. But Jacoby Myers in New England, he was making plays. He just never had a great quarterback.
This is my problem with Juju. He said he's going to get re-signed, though, right? He won a 1 year. This year he had a decent. He led a team. Do you think they're going to be able to sign him back, or do you think he's going to price himself out?
He ain't going to price himself. If he prices himself out, he's an idiot. He's a fucking idiot, and I'm going to tell you why. Because
the TikToker, come on.
yeah, those damn TikTokers. Juju can if he prices himself out, he's stupid because he's not gonna go anywhere and instantly become a winner. You're getting the play with Patrick Mahomes, bro. I think what people have to understand about these guys, like Pat, if you're playing with Patrick Mahomes, he's gonna find you. He's gonna get you the ball. He's gonna get you involved. That's the difference. That's that I'm willing to get my $3 million a year instead of my 10 because I'm gonna win more. And eventually I'll get paid for my work if I keep winning.
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
If I'm him, I try to do like a shorter pay deal with a lot of incentives. That's what I would do if I was him. Why the hell would you want to leave Patrick Mahomes?
I believe he had 900 yards this year.
Yeah, 933 yards on 78 catches.
And how many TDs?
Only 3.
Well, you're sharing the ball with a million people. So yeah, that's solid numbers. He almost had 1,000 yards. So
yeah, I mean, as for Jacoby Myers, he didn't play like half the games because he doesn't like New England. So he could be going. He could be going somewhere other than New England. I don't know where to begin to project where he's going to go. I don't even know what his market would be. I have no idea. But I don't think he's going to be in New England. Let's just put it that way. I don't see. Then we got your boy Alan Lazard. He already said he's probably leaving Green Bay. I think he's going to follow Aaron Rodgers. That's just my opinion. He's going to do that as well. I don't know.
Best blocking wide receiver in the game today. All jokes aside, Lazard is solid. He's been reliable. He led the team in receiving this year, believe it or not. You would have thought it was Christian Watson, but he led the team in receiving. But he got overtook by the rookie at the end of the year. You could tell he became unreliable at a point where it was like, not really. In that last game against the Lions, he did look his way a lot. He did have a couple catches, but he's not going to burst the top off the defense. He's a guy who's going to have a possession guy. He's going to help you move the change, but he's not going to be like a Christian Watson. He's not going to be like a number 1. He's a good number 3, possibly 2 or 3. He's a compliment. So going to the Raiders ain't a bad thing. Honestly, he's going to get to play with his old buddy Devontae. So
could be the possibility there. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting free agency market as the free agents sign, which it's not open. Absolutely. We'll talk about it more because I think there's going to be some big splashes. I think a lot of people are going to stay in their same spots this year. But we'll see. Is there anybody else you think that we forgot?
I don't think we forgot anybody. We got the important ones. We even hit on some little small ones. I think all of us are gonna have a Lamar radar for a little bit. Then we're probably gonna have some Aaron Rodgers radar right after that. So it's gonna be an interesting year.
I agree. I can't wait for it.
It's an off season. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't wait for free agency to kick off. Can't wait to see some of these trades kick off. Like you said, Lamar. Can't wait to see where he goes. Can't wait to see what happens to Aaron Rodgers after he gets out of his darkness retreat. But we'll talk about that going forward. Guys, thanks for listening. Be sure to follow us on all of our social medias, especially our Instagram, Facebook. You guys already know. Stoop Life. Check us out. Yeah. But other than that, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'll have you.
I'll see. All right, y'all. See y'all.
All right, guys. Later.
Yeah, you did it on your phone?